He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
The other thing is with the terrorists, you have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families.
Donald Trump's election as president on November 8, 2016, was a shocking turn for nearly everyone. The results left fully half of the nation in despair and disbelief, including 3 young congressional staffers in the nation's capital. Within days, however, the trio had poured their energies into creating an online guide for resisting Trump. By January, a wave of first-time activists was following the guide to create hundreds of grassroots groups that today form the Indivisible movement. On January 11th, 2 sisters invited a handful of like-minded friends to a meeting at their home in Las Cruces, New Mexico. There, the sister team laid out the plan outlined in the guide, and at the end of the meeting, these newly created activists voted to become one of the first groups of the Indivisible movement. Did you think you would ever be doing this?
No. Absolutely not. And that is one of the things that I hope to see in the future, that we can all work together so that we're informing individuals and they're getting off the couch. People like us who sat on the couch but didn't do anything.
Except vote. We voted.
Yeah, we voted. But get off the couch and go do something.
Since its founding, Indivisible Las Cruces has fought against Trump's agenda time and again, especially his ongoing efforts to destroy the Obama health care plan. They have marched, they have written letters, made phone calls, and made their voices count. Because Indivisible is a grassroots organization, it reflects the values of its own community. This allows the group to respond quickly to changes. For example, with the 2018 midterm elections at hand, Indivisible has refocused to become more involved in improving the voter culture and working to support our progressive values. 1 week after its founding, Indivisible Las Cruces held its first public meeting. When dozens of people showed up, the organizers were nearly giddy at the turnout. The room buzzed with people wanting to know, what can we do? How can we fight back? Throughout the spring, Indivisible held public meetings every single week. And using Indivisible's guide, they learned to fight through education, through protest, and public pressure. While political activism and resistance were new to nearly every member, they brought decades of community experience and a great generosity of spirit to the group. This group is the best. It just, everything clicks, and we were just lucky because we were almost inventing it as we went along.
Why Indivisible is because I like the platform. Indivisible is a young movement that's just starting that has great appeal because it is new. There's a fresh look. The platform allows for political discourse, for achieving a balance in your political views, and it allows for political activism and citizens' participation.
The new administration, emboldened by their victory, quickly set to work overturning Obama's every action and policy. The effects of those changes would reverberate across the nation, creating a state of chaos that has become the norm in nearly every household in America.
I'm from New Jersey, and I was involved in the local Indivisible group there. When Jeff Sessions decided to come to visit Las Cruces, I was completely outraged. I just find it hard to imagine that a community with so many people of Mexican heritage wouldn't be concerned that he was coming here and talking about the immigration policies and what I call that stupid wall.
Others had retired from big city careers and returned home to renew family ties and to reconnect with the community. With a generosity of spirit, they also shared their dual perspectives from growing up in Las Cruces and from experience gained in their years away.
I think that we need to get the young people involved. I think that right now with this gun violence, I think we've woken them up. I think that where it happened at Parkland, they're high school students, they're ready to get out into this world, and I think they realize the change that needs to be made, and I hope that we can focus on them. You know, there's a lot of these high schoolers that are graduating that are going to be 18 years old at the end of this school year, and I think that we need to focus on them to get out there and vote and tell their friends, and for them not to give up, because they are our future.
Young people, such as the Parkland students, took the measure of the nation's leaders, found them wanting, then took to the national stage to advocate on their own behalf. They demonstrated the power of speaking up and the courage to demand change.
One of the biggest things that I saw coming into Indivisible is the amount of distortion of truth that comes from the Trump administration and comes from Republican leadership. And the only way we can fight that is that we work together. No one knows enough by themselves to be able to counter all the alternate realities that they push on us. So if we work together and we share our knowledge and pool our resources, then we're able to fight more effectively against what they want us to believe. Instead of having them just push these alternative facts on us, we can say, no, this is the truth, and we're here together to say what we believe.
Washington's turmoil arrived full force in New Mexico, due in part to its border with Mexico and Trump's determination to build the wall. His first aim, however, was to overturn Obama's signature health care program. And affordable health care was the top concern for New Mexico families at every income level.
When we have these rapid response activities, if we can get a lot of time they're fun. Being able to run around with signs and yelling at people and getting people honking at you, it's fun.
Progressive groups, including Indivisible, quickly mobilized their collective power and stood in solidarity against Trump's assault on their popular health care program. While their resistance worked, Trump's attack proved only the first volley in his persistent campaign to gut the program. Still, Indivisible and its progressive allies have resisted every attempt with equal determination.
And the first Indivisible meeting, I was heartened by the fact that there was passion among people similar to my own, that this is not how we want America defined. We have to work to change it. We have to increase voter participation. We have to increase education about the issues. And we have to do something about the partisanship that is tearing this country apart.
Indivisible spent most of 2017 organizing, protesting, holding public meetings, and pressuring Congressman Steve Pierce to give up his seat. By the new year, Pierce was a lame duck, and we turned our attention to getting out the vote. We met with other Indivisible groups to learn how to craft a message, to recruit volunteers, and to register voters. We teamed up with the county clerk's office and fanned out to register voters at high schools, libraries, and at community events.
As we moved through time, the mission changed with Indivisible. It was originally about let's resist everything that Trump's doing, because all of his campaign promises basically, I thought, were bullying. They were, let's build a wall, let's marginalize people, let's take away things from people in need. And it's moved for me into let's change the outcome in the future so that we don't have to go through this again.
By the June 2018 primary, Indivisibles had become seasoned political volunteers. We were in the game and it was exciting. We were schooled on the issues and we had come to appreciate the candidates' difficult but crucial role in our democracy. Still, we resisted. We protested outside a Las Cruces hotel where Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced his zero-tolerance policy for immigration. And we marched with 1,000 others at the Tornillo port of entry where children, separated from their parents, were being housed in tents. This resistance movement, at least this time around, believe it or not, it's made up of about 70% women and mostly older people, people who were retired, got a wealth of experience. But this may be our last time, our last hurrah to be able to use all that experience and what we've learned. We want to be able to turn this country over to an educated, thoughtful, good next generation. So we want to be able to turn it back over to the young people. It's on to November and our first chance to vote for those who represent our progressive values. It's not a perfect system, but it's our best chance. The election of 2016 was a cruel awakening, but it has opened our eyes to the central truth. Voting is an honor and our right as American citizens. We neglect that at our own peril. That's the indisputable fact.